Well, hello there, ladies and gents. Tis Monday evening. Tis the time when we discuss all the figures that went up in the past week that are going to look great under your lights and in front of your lenses. And it's a time where I just shake. Ready? Let's go earthquake style. Woohoo! It's a time when I just seem to shake the laptop all over the place. So that's what we're going to discuss. So, for all of you catching this on the replay, what is it that you are most looking forward to as far as figures that went up in the past week when it comes to your figure photography? That's what we got. Now, we're going to stop at a couple spots. We're going to talk Transformers. We're going to talk some of those photogenic figures. We'll talk some other style figures and all that stuff. We're kind of going to jump around a little bit. And of course, near the end of the stream, I will be telling you guys, hey, I might have missed stuff, so help me find it. So that's where we're at. Now, let's hop to it, see what's going on in the old stream. Oh, what's going on, Star? How are you, man? Good to see you. See, does anyone else here struggle with the new figure rush? The moment a good looking fig goes up for pre order, regardless of its source material. I need to order it. I'm getting better. Man, I have said on this live stream or on previous live streams, I really could spend thousands of dollars every month just based on things that show up that I look at and I think, those are really cool and I want. That's why I have to sit back and kind of be like, okay, let's rein it in a little bit and let's focus on some core collections before I get too crazy. But yes, that is very much a real thing for me. I'm sure it's a real thing for other people as well. It's why I tell people saying things like, I just get what I want is cheating because I want it all. That amazing Yamaguchi Batman Beyond that just dropped looks fantastic despite having 0.0% interest in Batman Beyond. I had to stop myself from pre ordering. I'm too old to still be doing this. No. Like I said, if I had the scratch, I would be doing the exact same thing. All right. What do we got here? Oh, man, Star. All right. I was thinking about new lines for Jada. How would you guys feel about a line from Punch Out? June said he'd love to get the Nintendo license someday. I'd be more interested in, let's see, Punch Out than Street Fighter. See, I like Street Fighter more, but Punch Out would be a blast. But you know what June's going for if he goes for the Nintendo license. Dude's going for Mario. And that feels like it's not a competitor where at like to Capcom necessarily when it comes to their characters and their style of games versus when people have brought up wanting Mortal Kombat, wanting Jada to do Mortal Kombat, which would be in direct competition with Capcom Street Fighter 2 franchise. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. There it is, my earthquake again. But yes, I would love it if he loaded up on the Nintendo franchise. And we got a couple more good ones. Ooh, we see Skew Raider down there too, hanging out. Someone please stop me. I'm buying SHF Star Wars like my life depends on it. I've lost count of how many of the new A New Hope Darth Vader figures I've got coming in. I'm thinking that's a sign. Well, that might be a sign. I've never understood, you know, how people will say, oh, I pre ordered this and forgot about it. I'm not that guy. I know exactly what I have on pre order. All right. The new Vader is the same fig as the last Kenobi Vader. I can't explain it, but I think I like this new one more than the Kenobi version. It feels better to me than the last, and I have no idea why. It might have something. Maybe they changed materials. I'll tell you, I would rather have the New Hope version anyway. Skew, what's going on, man? It's all good times. Harry, what's up, sir? Thanks for stopping in. What's going on, Nolan? Good to see you. Whoo. All right. Past week. It's been 2 weeks already. Where's my edge runners? That's true. That's true. I think June was pretty sure that those pre orders would be going up. Let's see. Going through. It's given all. It's nice to see everybody greeting the people. So excited for the CT brown suit Wolverine. He's starting to show up in video reviews. Man, that's something that Mafex really missed the boat on. I can't believe they didn't re-release him yet. Anyone else lucky enough not to have to change their clocks? Ah, I wish. I mean, I haven't changed my clocks, but I should. I guess technically I should have to, but not yet. See, punch out figures would be awesome. Rick Ship. Ahoy, sir. What's going on? And Sci Fi George. Hola, sir. Thank you for stopping by, Sci Fi George. It's going to be a good night. Woo. All right, all right. I believe we have a quorum. So, why don't we get this going? Now, the first things I want to show off, let's get into some Transformers. I gathered some images, but there weren't a lot of images. So, I'm going to go a little old school here, and we're going to go into messing with Entertainment Earth ever so slightly. We'll probably end up on Big Bad Toy Store. We're definitely going to end up on Hasbro Pulse and MONDO'S website. So don't worry, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm pushing buttons now because everybody needs that to happen. All right. We have newly added. Okay, with the Transformers here, I'm going to go through these 5. Now, and let me know, what do you guys think overall when it comes to going through movie figures? I mean, I'm going to have to go through things like Studio Series when it comes to 86 and Gamer Edition. Let me know what you think of the movie figures before we go too nuts. This would be a Rise of the Beasts Optimus Prime, which I do enjoy this look, I have to say, and I keep trying to figure out how to jump back into Hasbro's Transformers. Rise of the Beasts, any movie stuff won't be it. I have been thinking about the gamer stuff though, so we'll see what's going on with all that. Again, I think he looks good, but he's just not necessarily for me, but that doesn't mean he's not for you. So there we go. We have Optimus Prime. Prime. Optimus Prime. And now we have Bumblebee. And Bumblebee, I gotta love that he turns into the bug and all that good stuff. Which was, I mean, that was the movie kind of style. What was this? This was deluxe, yeah, deluxe class Transformers Bumblebee action figure. I'm assuming this was the actual Bumblebee movie, just because I think in Rise of the Beast, wasn't he turning into the Camaro? I mean, it's been a while since I've seen it. And to be honest, it wasn't the Bumblebee the movie was very memorable. Rise of the Beasts was not. But I do enjoy that they've got the VW bug look going here. And then finally, we will check out Studio Series Leader Class Rise of the Beasts Apelinq. And this is how much I remember Rise of the Beasts. And keep in mind, I saw Rise of the Beasts in the theater. I don't remember, like, I've seen clips of Apelinq since. I don't remember hardly anything about him. But hey, giant robot monkey, not bad. You gotta love that. So yeah, are any of these studio series, any of kind of, I know they're sort of getting away from the Bayverse or trying to, but are any of these figures things that you're into? All right. Oh, Ship got Nemesis Immortal in today, and I'm disappointed. Oh no, Ship. We need to know why. That makes me sad. Due to arrive sometime today. All right, Sci-Fi George. I like it. I like it. Skew Radar. Rekship. You all think Retro Nemesis Enforcer coming to look more classic? I do. Let's see. See Retro Flint coming next year? Yes. I did see Retro Flint's coming next year. I just need, I'm hoping against hope that he's got some extra gloved hands to go with him. Like he'll have the gloves if he's retro. I just want some fists in there as well. I need a Flint in my collection, and I got rid of the other one because he didn't have extra hands. Because I'm that guy. I'm all in for the 86 movie Transformers and any of the G1 Transformers from the first 10 minutes of the Bumblebee film. Oh, you know what? That's true. That's true. That was pretty amazing. I heard that the reason they didn't make a movie like that is because the cost would be insane. So you got the 10 minutes. Beyond that, there's not much to go with, it sounds like. See, talking Purple Rain. I mean, Purple Wings, Nemesis Enforcer, classic, like Retro Flint, wanted. I don't know, Skew. I wonder. I have to think they. I don't have the figure, so I can't look at them and come up with what I think, like what the possibility is. But I mean, maybe if they do a retro one, it will definitely be a while before we see it. This is true. This is true. All right, Star. I love their on screen depictions from Bumblebee, but Hasbro's been cheaping out and cutting so many corners that they're just not worth the price Hasbro is asking. Just can't buy these. Ah, man. I keep hoping somebody's going to come on and say, no, no, Dave, these are the Hasbro Transformers you should be getting. But I'm just not hearing that. And I missed out on the Dinobots, and I'm not sure I want to miss out on Devastator and all that, you know? Much like Lieutenant Falcon, I'm hoping the retro cover girl corrects her butterface treatment. She would have to come with an extra head, Sci-Fi George, to really fix it. And I don't know. They're doing the blonde cover girl, I know. So she need an extra redheaded cover girl or maybe a hair swap or something. Yep, just holding out hope that they keep making retros when we are disappointed. Oh, I hate that you're disappointed in that wreck ship. I was hoping it was going to be awesome. Let's see, his main problem is just that it's a tad bit over designed and it leans too heavily into the creepy creature aspects of the character, and the wings don't feel like they belong on him, to be honest. Ah, see, it looks good to me. Is it a looks thing or is it a construction thing, Wreckship? See, he needs the fist stave. Retro Flint and the card art has those featured would make him complete. I totally agree. And if they made gloved hand fists, they could start adding those to other figures as well. A lot of figures came with gloved hands. Just paint them different colors. It's kind of like the Cobra Viper. He just has Cobra Commander's hands, but that makes all the difference. Wreckship definitely could redo wings. I think they can retro it up better. Agreed. Yep, to leaning Nemesis. Oh man. My Jada Fei Long arrived today along with a number of other Jada Street Fighter, and my wife is livid. I hope she's not in the room and just heard me laugh there, Star. Oh well, she knew what she was getting into when she married a figure nerd. This one's on her. I'm just going to go to the next comment. There's nothing I can say there that puts me in the good grace of either of you, really. The wings are pretty different. Would go for that retro. I know the wings are different looking. Like, I like the different look. But if it's over designed when you get them in hand, that always weirds me out too. I'm never quite sure about that. All right, so we got through these guys. Not a whole lot of chatting there, except for the Bumblebee movie, it sounds like. And of course, these are the guys, folks, that I am thrown by. Like, I had picked up the first wave of Studio Series, and they're some of the figures that were really kind of floppy. Like, there were floppy joints, or the joints were so tight I felt like I was going to break them when I transformed them. So even Studio Series 86, I'm a little iffy on, and yet I don't know that I want to miss out on Devastator. So help me out. What are you thinking when it comes to these? I mean, that's just cool. And I can kind of see why, say, Scrapper gets the, what is it, the Voyager treatment, and Bonecrusher gets the deluxe, because Scrapper's coming with more stuff for Devastator. I mean, obviously, that purple there is Devastator's huge gun, but I think Scrapper looks cool. Like, yeah. And when it comes to the Dinobots, I keep wondering, should I go back and get them? Because I'm sick like that. But yeah, Scrapper's pretty rad. He looks good. But again, nobody is sitting there saying, hey, Dave, these Transformers are great quality. You should go pick them up. Instead, I keep hearing, hey, Dave, don't do it. Skew, I like the look, but had to skip Nemi for now. That's something that we'll talk about a little bit, Skew Raider. I think, I mean, he's not going to go on clearance, but I think he'll go back up. I don't know. The thinner arm half wings, the thinner arm half wings sit awkwardly and in reality don't seem like they'd be able to hold up his larger build. Got it. Got it. So it's kind of a design thing, but also a little bit of a construction thing. I got you. Tragic. What's going on, man? How's the wife's knee? Whew. All right. Let's party. Let's keep going. Ahoy. Arr. See, people are not sitting here saying, dude, go in on Devastator. I'm pretty sure that Hasbro's poor choices are what led in a profound way to the rise and success of third party figs. You know, the worst part is they weren't making bad choices when the third party stuff first started showing up. But it seems like maybe, I don't know. I know that a big part of their strategy was cost cutting. And sadly, that does seem to have affected a lot of lines. The wings represent the symbiotic nature of Cobra Law. The top of the wings have small teeth, so it's a living backpack. Oh man, see, oh man, that one's tough for me. Nemesis is tough for me. We'll see. All right, it's good to see the people having fun. I don't know why I just went Irish there. Bad Irish, but Irish. I'm getting all of the Constructicons and hope they give Bruticus, Predaking, and Abominus the same treatment. I would go crazy for Predaking. Like Predaking is like I gotta tell you guys quick. This will be quick, I promise. The Christmas that Predaking, the Predacons were released, right? So I'm at home. I wake up Christmas morning and I get, let's see, Dive Bomb, Rampage, Tantrum, and Headstrong. So I get the arms, the wings, and the legs of Predaking. And I'm like, as a kid, you can't be, even as a kid, you're sitting there going, okay, I can't ask the folks anything about Razor Claw, who's the actual middle of it. I have to be stoked about these. And to be clear, I was very stoked. I love the Predacons, but there was something missing about not having Razor Claw. But then I found out they were all being a little conspiratorial because then we went south where my grandma lived and she got me Razor Claw. Sadly, I can never take my stuff. Like when I was a kid, I couldn't take my other stuff to my grandparents' places. So the Predacons were all back home. And then at grandma's, I had Razor Claw. So I had to wait till I got back home from grandma's before I could do that. Like I said, grandma was like 4.5, 5 hours away. But it was a very cool Christmas. I would go nuts for Predaking. Let's see, Devastator is looking good there. Catch up is shaping up. I hope, man. I hope. What does anybody have a Transformers HasLab? I'd be curious how the quality is on those. I understand, but I just really think the wings need to be beefier since he's such a massive dude, but that's just me. That's all right. That's all right. Differing opinions are what makes the hobby so much fun. Gestalts were classic fire TFs. Is it Gestalt or is it Gestalt? I've always heard Gestalt, but I've never actually looked up the word. Let's see. Thanks for asking. She's doing well. I've been attending to her and the healing process, but that puts me back on projects. Well, you tell her, Tragic, that she needs to hurry up and heal that knee because you have LEDs to put in toys. So, I mean, she's got to get her priorities straight for you. I mean, I think that's only reasonable. Here's hoping she's not listening to the live stream and misses the replay. My first Transformers were the three Insecticons. It was all Mach 3 downhill after that. Yep. Oh, the Insecticons were so much fun too. All right, so let's get out of Scrapper here. I'm hoping, Sci-Fi George, I'm hoping for you that they're awesome, and I'm hoping for me that I decide to jump in, because, yeah, Constructicons are rad. And you know they can repaint them in yellow. Here's Bonecrusher. Looking good. I saw somebody say Bonecrusher was done dirty, but he looks like he's the same height as Scrapper, pretty close. So I really think the price difference is legit Devastator's gun. And Scrapper has more different colored plastics, possibly more paint. Like Scrapper has a ton of purple on him, and this guy looks like he's basically just a green mold. So maybe that helps him out too, or maybe that helps Hasbro out when it comes to the cost. But there you go. That's what I wanted to look at when it came to. That's what I wanted to look at when it came to the Transformers. Oh dear, I'm in trouble. The Beetle Insecticon had that one. That rub sticker that revealed the faction was the most fun on it. Bombshell, right? Yeah, I think the Beetle was Bombshell. The Fly was Kickback. And the. Oh, wait a sec. Yeah, the Beetle was Bombshell. What was Shrapnel? Like, I can picture him. I know exactly what he looked like. But what was the bug he was based on? Was it like some kind of pincher? Wow. I suck at Insecticons. Okay, and I did not think, like, I'm a bad nerd in a lot of areas. I don't think I'm a bad nerd when it comes to the original Transformers, but I totally just blew it there. And now, I don't care about bestsellers. I want to look at newly added. Okay, so we're getting ready. Entertainment Earth is getting ready to add in some Black Series from, what's that called? The Skeleton Crew, it looks like. But check these. Like, I mean, okay, so Star was talking about the amazing Rebeltech or Revoltech, Batman Beyond. That thing's awesome. These were not on the docket to talk about, but what the heck? They're here and they are very photogenic. I did think this guy looked sweet. I mean, it's one of those figures that if I had thousands of dollars to spend on figures every month, I would totally get it and I would have a blast with it. I love the Batarangs. Those things are perfect Batman Beyond stuff. So I'm a big, big fan of what we've got going on with this. Yeah, the good Mr. McGinnis looks awesome. I would prefer, I will say, I would prefer that the suit were a lot more black and a little less red, just to give it more of that animated series vibe. But I do understand this is based on a specific comic book. But it's easier for me to say, okay, I don't need this because of the paint scheme. So, Star, maybe that helps you out. Maybe you can look at it and be like, okay, this isn't really the classic colors of the Batman Beyond that we all know and love. And if they ever repaint it to be that way, then you and I might both be host. All right. Excellent choice. Yes. Tragic. I'm not sure if anyone got the HasLab Dragonfly. Rumor has it they're creating shipping labels. Nice. That's gonna be fun. I can't wait to see the pictures people take of that thing. Skew Robo rocks that that rub sticker shirt gets me smiling every time. Yup. I love that shirt. I need to come up with stuff that's a little more our kind of thing, that's symbolic sort of. Oh, you can all relax. I'm here now. Oh, thank God, John. I almost stopped the live stream. I didn't know if you were gonna show. It was almost game over for everybody. All right, Star. Grasshopper was kicked back. Rhino Beetle was Bombshell, and the Stag Beetle was Shrapnel. Thank you, Star. Man, I don't know why did I think Kickback was just oh boy. Yep, I get the bad nerd label for Transformers now. You have no idea how sad that makes me. I mean, I sat here and I recalled all the names of the Predacons, but I couldn't tell you what the Insecticons turned into, and there's two less of them. Ghost Tab, what's going on, man? Thank you for stopping in. We're getting crazy. Skew, thanks. Definitely got that DM on the Dragonfly on the way. Did not hear any updates, just the chats you're confirming. Update helps. Thanks. Yeah, it's going to be awesome, guys. Like, I mean, had I had the Hiss tank at the time before that went up for order, I probably would have gotten it because the Hiss is amazing. I came so close to ordering the Attack on Titan figs. I watched the film and changed my mind, ensuring multiples of Edge Runners. What's crazy is Edge Runners, like, I don't know how deep Jada's going to go. And I don't mean that like Jada's just not going to do it. I mean, it might be kind of a limited line just because there were only really 8 or 9 named characters, weren't there? Maybe 10? There weren't tons of them. And so it might not be a line that they need to go all that deep on. I just don't know. I'm not sure. I keep wondering about that. Okay, I'll come back to the chat. Let's get out of Batman Beyond here. Bum, The Attack on Titan stuff is crazy. I have to say, I have never seen Attack on Titan, but these looks are crazy. Like, I love what Rebeltech has done here. They're getting so much better. Like, look at this. When it comes to photography, guys, one, Rebeltech, you're going to be able to take pictures of these things doing all the things. But remember when Rebeltech first started, they couldn't get a standing pose and look good. To me, that looks really good. They've still got, it looks like that crazy shoulder joint going on up here. Once they figure out how to cap that off, I think these things are going to be pretty close to unbeatable. And you know how much I love Mafex, but it's hard to, yeah, look at that. Like, it's hard to argue that once they really get the aesthetic down on these things and they get that shoulder, because I mean, the aesthetic is already just about there. They make that adjustment on that shoulder cap, and these things are pretty crazy. I mean, you'll always get a more comic look when it comes to Mafex, but yeah. And Rebeltech is obviously always going to skew a little more anime, but man, I just love the look of these things. These would be more that if I had thousands of dollars to spend on figures every month, I would load up on these. And I'm not even giving you anything actually constructive. I'm just telling you if you want to take pictures of cool figures that can do all the things, Rebeltech seems to be the way to go. And these things giving you like all this muscle definition, you could almost, you know how you see those charts in a doctor's office that shows you how muscles are broken down and bone and all that stuff? You could almost use these things to make those charts. Like that's the sculpting on these is ridiculous. The only thing that might be kind of cool, and again, I haven't seen Attack on Titan, but what would be kind of sweet is if they have more of a skeleton head. But these are pretty close to. Let's see here. Yeah, that's a little. That's a little flesh and bony. A little. Oh, look at that! I didn't notice all that craziness. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I can't deny it. Okay. What do we got from Harry here? Hey, how about the next photo contest before a t-shirt design? You got it, Harry. I'm thinking you're right. You're right. That does need to happen first. I think November, I am going to skip for YouTube. I'll do one for Patreon. And for anybody that's on Patreon on the Grande tier, the November, I guess, theme is going to be relaxation. It's going to be your action figures relaxing. And then hopefully in December, I'll be able to get back into doing the contests. Yeah, I'm geek for it. I wish I got two. I didn't because I have the hiss in hand yet. I didn't have the hiss in hand yet. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to spend the cash, but then I got it. I got two Rattlers. Yep. Yep. That's the thing, man. I kind of am looking at my hiss and I keep looking at the prices on those. I like the Dragonfly, but the Dragonfly looks to me to be too much real world, and so does the Rattler. The Hiss is like G.I. Joe. And I keep looking and going, I wonder if I could get some more hisses. But we'll see. See, Rattlers are fire. Yeah, they're cool. I mean, I can't sit here. That's just kind of been my preference. Is there are very few vehicles that are just totally GI Joe. But yeah, I mean the hiss. Yeah, yeah. I look at pics and videos of the Rattler. Nothing wrong with that. And I love what they did with the figures there for that one too. Slim Good Body. Remember him? Set to 9,000. Attack on Titan. They look great. I don't. I remember nothing. Star that Batman Beyond fig looks really cyberpunkish. Certainly enough for me to grab him. I just can't get past the established DC universe. Just not a superhero fan, other than Space Ghost. And this is why, you know what? Maybe what Jada needs to do is put Space Ghost in their Edge Runners line. How would that work? How would Space Ghost look as a cyberpunk character? Figuarts and Rebeltech are doing a lot of anime that is finished for a while. I wonder why. It's gotta be so a lot of the stuff that really is pop culture. Somebody brought up the fact that we don't have those pop culture moments anymore like we used to a few years, like a couple decades ago, really, because so much stuff is spread out. There's so many different things for tons of people to watch that like there's not a huge group watching any one thing. So back when these older anime were on, they had a larger audience checking them out because there wasn't as much choice. There weren't as many options. I would guess that's why it does make sense to me. Like in the 80s, anybody watching TV in the 80s and cartoons, most of us saw the same cartoons. Like our attention wasn't divided between 30 channels and 50 streaming services and all that stuff. We saw the same stuff, which is why there's a built-in fan base for all the 80s properties. So I'm guessing that's what's going on with all the anime stuff. But who knows? That's just a theory. I think they need to lose the knee spur. It's always there. I do agree, Star. I wish they'd get rid of that. I'm okay with it with an armored character, but when the character's not wearing armor, that's a problem. Tragic. That Batman Beyond looks freaking awesome. I wish I got into Attack on Titan. Not enough time to get into new things, but they do look cool. I'm right there with you, Tragic. I want to be a much better nerd, but the time required to be a better nerd might be tough. Anton, Attack on Titan. Don't get too comfortable with the characters. I'm assuming the characters are what one might call disposable. 112 scale. Let's see. I would assume so when it comes to Rebeltech. Usually, Rebeltech, I think most of their figures tend to skew just a touch smaller, but you can still fudge them in. Anton, oh, you haven't watched it. I will. That's not good because what's there? Let's see. It's a nice guy like you who has collection, and that's the end. Oh no. Oh no. Now I feel like I should check out Attack on Titan. Way to go. Nice guy like me. I know some people that you could argue that with. CD Projekt did announce more Cyberpunk anime coming, so hopefully Jada can keep going with the Cyberpunk figs for years to come. That'd be sweet. Although, Star, we must be cautious. We need to see the first crew of Cyberpunk figures first. The Dragonfly and the Hiss were my favorite vehicles for G.I. Joe. Awesome, John. Those are, yeah, yeah. Like I said, I would love an army of Hiss. You know which HasLab or what vehicle on G.I. Joe would get me to jump in again is a Havoc. That was another thing from my childhood. I wasn't like, I really wanted the Havoc, but I wasn't allowed to get it until I memorized what the acronym was. And it is Heavy Articulated Vehicle Ordnance Carrier. Didn't take me long to memorize that when I knew that those were the conditions of said purchase. So I would go nuts. As much as I wish I weren't beholden to nostalgia, I am certainly beholden to nostalgia. Could you ever do a show about Doctor Who figures? Let's see. I don't know anything about Doctor Who, Anton. So I don't know. I don't know that I could do, like, I could do one, but it would be the most ignorant Doctor Who show you ever saw. Because I know nothing when it comes to that. But I mean, if people want it, you know what we could do? We could do a live stream where you guys teach me about Doctor Who if people are into it. See, it's the connection for me. Had Dragonfly and Rattler growing up. Didn't have Hiss, but have it now. Loving Classified. Yeah. Yeah. Did I have the Hiss? I had the Hiss in the 25th anniversary. I didn't have much. I would go nuts for a Silver Mirage, and I would go nuts for a Heavy Articulated Vehicle Ordnance Carrier. Slim Goodbody was a PBS type guy in a suit that showed inside the body. Kind of looks like a distant relative of Richard Simmons. Classic stuff. Around same time as 321 Contact, Electric Company, Sesame Street. Oh, I don't think I watched a whole lot of PBS because I've heard of all those, but yeah, I got nothing. Skew Raider, 1980s early. Goodbody live action. Gotcha, Skew. I appreciate it. I'll see if I can figure out something about that. Anton, yes, you just had a few channels and you had to make choices. Except in my area on weekends, we had the station from Philly, which showed all the weekday shows in one. Oh, see, now I'm jealous. That's awesome, Anton. I know, like for me, my favorite hour, like you'd see GI Joe, then you'd see Transformers, and that was always my favorite hour of television as a kid. I don't think that the younger crowd of today is as much like us as we might like to think. They're just not into things, so our kind might be on the decline. Oh, I totally agree, but I think part of why they're not into things is because their attention has been divided so much among so many different things. So they can't. It's like it's a small group that maybe gets attached to things and they're into the electronics and all that. I don't know. Like, I don't have any real theories on anything going on there. We know that kids are into electronics more than actual figures and things like that. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure. Maybe Hasbro and other toy companies should have kept targeting kids and not targeted us so much and kept using their imagination to get kids involved. I think one of the big problems, now this is coming from somebody who does some marketing, so take this with a grain of salt. I think one of the problems is way back when we had a mass media push for everything. So we had a comic book, we had a TV show, we'd have movies, we'd have like whatever, some video game tie-ins, and then we'd have toy lines. So there was this massive marketing push going into getting this one thing, and nobody really does that anymore. And I think that has been detrimental to a whole lot of properties. On the other hand, today, people, that's a real gamble because people's attention is so divided. You can try that push, but if it doesn't hit, chances are you're out a lot of money. So it's all tricky. It's all like somebody with just stupid money needs to come in and gamble on that. See what happens. Skew, you check out that character's, let's see, unlimited website yet. Company making Doctor Who figs. Ooh. All right. Let's see. I will come back to the chat, guys. We're going to be good with that. Let's get out of here. So yeah, seeing those was cool. I haven't seen, now we looked at her, we've seen Jury, but we haven't seen, or I haven't seen Ayane, Ninja Gaiden, this character. Push the button. Push the button. Why? Why won't you? Okay, there we go. Another Rebeltech thing. And there is just something, like I'm saying, these things, they can just stand there and look cool. Look at that, too. Like, Amazing Yamaguchi is doing stuff that is just insane. And there is no female character on the market today that comes anywhere close to this. Like, you could argue that with the articulation and with the looks of a Mafex figure, the guys, they might not be able to do as much as a Rebeltech can do, but they can do quite a bit. They do a pretty good job. Even with Mafex, like I say, as much as I love that company, or that brand, I suppose, as much as I love it, they're females, they're not it. They don't do this kind of movement. But this is insane how well this thing moves. And of course, you got all the things. So yeah, I am smitten by Rebeltech, by Amazing Yamaguchi. I will be picking up something at some point. Now we're gonna keep going. Who is anybody watching the live stream right now that is into Strawberry Shortcake? If you are, we'll cover these. There's not a lot as far as photogenic type stuff here, but they have enough. Like, these hands are tiny. I think this is a fairly small figure. Let me see what we've got here. Boss fight. Oh no, it says 6 inches. So maybe, I don't know. Does she not come with things? Hang on, everybody. This is 80s nostalgia here. So I am looking at this, trying to figure out what's going on here. Oh, Boss Fight Studio is very excited to bring the beloved Strawberry Shortcake figures to, or characters to life in action figure form. What I do really like here, fully posable with approximately 14 points of articulation, features the classic scent you love and remember. The item name is ready to be posed in all your favorite scenes. She comes with a removable hat. See, and best friend Custard. Okay, so she doesn't come with much, and she's 6 inches tall. Now, it looks like just the head is about 2 to 2.5 of those inches, so maybe the body's too small to have swappable stuff. but I figured I'd bring her up in case anybody wanted to check her out. But I do enjoy that in the description, it is item name. I'm sure I've made that kind of mistake before. We'll get out of there. I will catch up here. Whew, I got some catching up to do. Skew Raider, we had so much great stuff to watch in '80s. Hard to see or watch. Catch it all. We had, I think I saw the highlights for the most part. I didn't see, as we got older. I wasn't a Power Rangers guy, right? See, Havoc is likely not announced yet, but very likely coming next couple of years. Be encouraged and heartened, Dave. Thinking regular release or exclusive. I would take either or, man. If I got Retro Flint and a Havoc, and then what I would want after that, like seriously, after Retro Flint and after a Havoc, they could do whatever they want and I'd be happy. Go nuts. Give us modern versions of all these figures. Let's see what you guys have to show off. I would love it. But I know a lot of people want classic looks first, too. I could help you. We can be that hard. Hmm. It might not be so bad. We could try. We could see about a Doctor Who live stream. Yes to Silver Mirage 2. Fan faves like Havoc and Shark and Moray. So many good stuff coming. The Shark. Yes, the Shark is vintage G.I. Joe style. What vehicles do you guys think of when you're like, oh, that's just G.I. Joe? No other line could make that work. Like right now, after you said Shark Skew, I started thinking the Skyhawk and the Fang are both definitely vehicles that are total GI Joe, kind of like the van. Like the Ostriker, I love the Ostriker, but it's just another Jeep, you know? Emilio, hello, man. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Apologies if I'm a little slow on all this stuff. Trying to catch up, trying to make sure everybody's good. Probably should take Strawberry Shortcake off the screen. Between the phone, video games, and social media, they are definitely with divided attention. They can still get interest if they present good content like Transformers and Joe slash Energon movies and shows and comics. They can, but because of all that divided attention, you got to find a way to get them in the door. And that's the trick. If you can get them in the door and you give them great content, you're right. Game on. But it's getting them in the door that you got to figure out. And video games seem to be the way, but video games are so expensive to make that if that doesn't happen, oof, that's rough. Unless maybe it's a simple mobile game. I wonder. I don't know though. The potential for a Hanna-Barbera line from Jada is so exciting. It's not just the figs, but what they represent. Reminders of great years and great memories of wonderful times. It's not just figs. I don't know. For me, when it comes to Jada, like, I'm serious when I say they have not announced a single license I give a crap about. I just think the figures are great. Like, I know Scooby Doo, but I don't need a Scooby Doo toy line. But now Jada's making it, and I need a Scooby Doo toy line. But I do agree in a lot when it comes to nostalgia as a whole. Definitely excited for Hanna-Barbera Jada. See, right there. Yep. All right, let's get out of Strawberry Shortcake here. On the other hand, did I make it? Yep. I don't think you guys are too Stokes. Let's see. See, she looks good. Ghost Tab, I can think of two big reasons to get Hain, her articulation and ninja accessories. Her ninja accessories are pretty rad. Hips look great. Let's see. Star, Dave, you're not helping me stay away from those Rebeltech. I don't think that Jada would appreciate this if they knew. That's probably true. But Star, I'm sorry. Seriously, think about we don't need that Batman Beyond because he's got all that red. Now, we're hosed if they make him so he has a lot more black on him down the line. But right now, we're safe on him, and we don't know Attack on Titan. Very cool, though. So, yeah, Jada would be unhappy with me as well. I was into all those things from Hasbro, including Strawberry Shortcake. I used to watch the specials. Don't ask me why. I just thought it was cute. Nothing wrong with that, Anton. My sister was big into My Little Pony, and I ended up. They made a quarterback pony, and it was blue and it had like a light purple helmet. Maybe I ended up with a quarterback pony. He was rad. Not into it, but appreciate it from the time period. Great part of 80s wish book stuff. Love to include it in discussions coverage. Keeping era around. For Strawberry Shortcake fans, they're around. That's true. That's true. But I want to make sure that these are skewed towards skewed towards you guys. So if you guys are looking at these and you say, dude, we don't want to talk about Strawberry Shortcake, I will skip on when it comes to Strawberry Shortcake. I'll be back. If not, I'll catch the replay. No worries, Tragic. See, look at that. Tragic's leaving during Strawberry Shortcake. Let's see. Corey Robinson. I think the Triple T. Oh, that's a great call, too, Corey. Ooh, I don't know why I didn't think of that. But yeah. And what's the other? Oh, what's the one? The Dreadnoughts? Oh, my gosh. The Thunder Machine. But I think that one's been teased pretty heavily. The idea of a Jada Hanna-Barbera line is sincerely firing up those fantastic memories of Saturday morning cartoons and all the imagination that Space Ghost and the Herculoids built up in a young kid. I'm sure. I'm sure. Like I said, the Laugh Olympics. If they did Laugh Olympics, I'd go insane. Skyhawk and Fang are coming. The scale is too perfect for classified not to. I would think so, but who knows? Who knows? Energon has to nail it to get them in the door. Call of Duty and Fortnite expansion Energon style plays. Transformers Mask or Joe Cobra? Crazy. You know what? If they had gone in on Fortnite when it was super popular or when it was still climbing, that might have done a little bit of the trick. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe you got to get a good tie-in going. It's not the lines for me. I was never a real fan of much of that stuff either. What I do love are the memories of where I was and what I was experiencing when those shows were live. Can't beat it. Yep. Yep, I totally agree. Like I remember silly stuff like just sitting on the carpet assembling some of the GI Joe like cuz they kind of came out as sort of model kits, which I wouldn't mind if they did that again, but it is weird when you think about all that stuff. I love all of it, strawberry included. Care Bears, My Little Pony, Smurfs, rad stuff. I saw somebody that had a license plate that had Smurf on it today, and they were going really slow, and the blue on their vehicle was the wrong color blue. Talk about a bad nerd, you know? Anyway, all right. We're going to keep going here. This was one that I had on the docket to talk about. Saint Seiya, maybe? Pegasus Saiyan God Cloth Myth EX action figure. Now, this is not something that people tend to talk about all that much, probably because these figures are crazy pricey, but I like talking about them because they're also crazy shiny and cool. Clearly, I'm not into them. I'm not going to pick them up, but I love the look of them. Look at that. He's so shiny. Almost had to break into song there, in fact. Anton, if you're talking Hanna-Barbera, Hanna-Barbera, let me talk about one obscure group of characters. There's a group of characters called the Team Force. Team Force, huh? I don't know if I know them. Let's see. I watched Saint Seiya. Seiya. Awesome, Ghost Tav. All right, so I got somebody that knows what's going on. Skew Raider, Mask is a Grand Theft Auto engine. You've got me brainstorming now. Mix some Halo co-op in there. See, can have some fun games if done right. That's true. It's true, but it's got to be. They've almost got to piggyback on another game because, from what I understand, games can cost as much as $200 million. So if you make a game that's geared towards an audience that doesn't buy it, you're out a lot of money. I've already pre-ordered the Myth X Seiya. Nice, Ghost Tab, nice. Yeah, I mean, I think they look cool. I just don't know anything about them, which I know that is completely shocking and insane. La da da. All right, now we had Shoto Todoroki to talk about because SHF went absolutely insane this week. Like, I think they had 6 or 7 releases. I don't know how they do it. But this is My Hero Academia. I do know that much. I'm kind of curious about getting Bakugo and, oh man, the other one. I'm obviously much like an insane nerd about all this stuff, but I love the looks of these characters. And again, when we're talking photography, like let's go back. Look at this. Look at that shot. That is insane that you can do that with an action figure when it comes to taking photos. Where is the one? Look at that. Come on. That thing with all the photography options that you're going to have, even different hair. You got face plates. You got hands like mad. And I know I yawned there, but unlike last week, I am wide awake. I don't know why I yawned. But yeah, with all that stuff, this is the dream when it comes to a photogenic figure. It just makes me happy. And I'm going to keep going here. We've got Venom. I don't know anything about this Venom as far as differences in the first release. Maybe he comes with different accessories. Like maybe that's all there is to it. But again, if you're into the movies and if you're into just movie looks and Venom and all that good stuff overall, that guy looks cool. Don't know what else to add. When it comes to SHF, it's kind of like Mafex, where you know they're all going to be photogenic. Some, with SHF, it can be a little trickier to figure out how well their articulation is going to work. So I'm never quite, like, I'm never 100% sold on SHF, but maybe they'll be all right. We'll see. It kind of depends on Anthony's Customs reviews. Chainsaw Man, Aki Hayakawa. I'm curious about Chainsaw Man, I have to say. I keep looking at all the figures that have to do with him. Like, so we got Denji, we have Chainsaw Man, we have Makima, and we've got this guy. And I know, oh, and we've got, shoot, I don't remember her name. But yeah, like I'm just curious about all the things. And I like the look. I just don't know anything about what's going on. But again, plenty of accessories. Like I said, I'm going to try and get through the SHF stuff when it comes up kind of fast, just because we know it's going to be awesome. When it comes to accessories, probably pretty good when it comes to articulation. I mean, most of the time, they're pretty good with that. King, for any of you Tekken fans, a ridiculously good looking figure. I love all the color on this thing, and I never played. I take that back. I think I did play Tekken, but I don't remember it hardly at all. But now that we've gone through a bunch of those, let's get back to the chat, see what you guys are talking about, and keep going. Saint Seiya is about warriors that follow the Greek and Norse gods in battle. It's like Bleach, but good. Oh dear. Bleach fans just got triggered. Oh no. Nah. I tend to think the people on here don't trigger easily. Star, Molecule Lad, and the Teen Force, right? Hanna-Barbera has great stuff to make. Oh man. I don't remember those at all. Teen Force, Kid Comet, Molecule Lad, and Starfire, they were popular for a while back then. I wonder how obscure. Like, I want I would seriously, like, sincerely, I would love to see Jada do Captain Caveman. But how popular are some of these? Like, how obscure can they go and still guarantee sales? That's what I'm wondering about. And yet they made a Chester Cheetah and got a repaint in, and he seems to be doing well, or they wouldn't release more stuff like that. So I don't know. They crossed the mind a few years or a few streams back. Glad you mentioned them this week. Oh man, there's a lot of stuff that I don't remember from Hanna-Barbera. Pretty sure you're right. Been a while. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what all they do, but if they started building, imagine Jada building a Hanna Barbera universe like NECA builds their Toon TMNT line. So like it's just expanded now to the point where people are like, "Holy crap! I should have gotten in on the ground floor." Imagine Jada does that, and then as they go along, just anything they add in, people are like, "Yep, need that, need that, need that." Like maybe that Teen Force or whatever ends up way down the line if this Hanna Barbera line that hopefully they make does really well. They were a group of teenagers who fought a giant wind ape named Agholor, and there was Electra Molecular and Kid Comet. Whoa, I don't remember any of that. Bad nerd. That would be me. It should be a theme song now. That's them. Kid Comet, Starfire, and Molecule Lad. Whew. There was a Starfire, huh? Ooh, Corey would have something to say about that. There you go. But Electra, wait a second. What's oh crap. Nachios. Yeah, she'd have something to say. Or Electra, that is her name. Duh. It's a pity the kids don't play with toys anymore. They just do other things. Yes, they play with Legos and video games, but they don't use their imaginations anymore. This is true, it seems. You know what? Legos might be the way to get into kids' hands, like other lines and other properties. But the problem with Legos is you almost have to prove that the lines are awesome before Lego deals with you. So maybe not. Skew Electra. Yep, that's it. Crap. Electra Nachios, not happy. Not happy other people are using her name. Just like the Venom movies, the figure needs Spider Man to be good. That's probably pretty true. Yeah, I think the Venom movies need just to be totally different to be good. I shouldn't say that. I didn't mind the first one. I mean, I didn't go back and watch it again. I fell asleep during the second one. And ladies and gentlemen, I never fall asleep during a movie. So I'm not even going to try watching the third one. But the first one wasn't awful. Star, couldn't agree with you more. It makes me so sad for the desolation of imagination and entertainment that's sure to come in the future. I don't know, guys. We might be at a tipping point for a lot of things. It might be that things are going to start turning around, but we'll see. I would love to see just people with crazy imagination start going nuts and bringing in stuff. The problem is you need a combination of imagination and funding. And the funding needs to come from somebody that thinks that the imagination is good enough to make a huge dent in the market. That's where the trick comes in. That's why so much of trying new stuff is a gamble. It's why, honestly, you want to be a small company trying this new stuff out. Because if you're in the Fortune 500 or if you're publicly traded, it's very likely you can't try too much new stuff out because they want to play it as safe as possible. But even if you're a small company and you try something out, maybe it doesn't work. That's why Kickstarter is such a good thing. So we'll see. Chainsaw Man is like the movie Crank, nonstop action. It's about different devils attacking the real world. See, that sounds fun to me, Ghost Half. I wonder if that would work out. I wonder if my figure collection is ready for Chainsaw Man. Skew Raider. Anton, if they have good content that's presented in a cool way, like we have had over the years, crossovers can be epic if presented right. Mix Ready Player One with a Toy Story approach. Ooh, ooh, I kind of like that. Ghost Have, I'm kidding about Bleach. That story about Ichigo going to a different realm to save a friend was really good. That's I know nothing. Clearly, I need to see some Bleach. See, the like Energon and Nacelle are doing, include Mattel, etc. Crossovers of 1980s IPs would hit hard. Get some never-ending story conservation of great toys and video games. I like it. The thing with the Energon universe is Transformers and GI Joe already have massive built-in audiences. Like for another crossover to work, I'm wondering if you would need. Like I wonder. Like I think it's been shown that men are more into things than girls are, but girls will pick up more stuff. I don't know. I can't remember what the whole deal is between men and women when it comes to shopping habits. They're pretty equal, but it's different in how it's approached. And so I was sitting here trying to come up with like a Care Bears and a My Little Pony and a Strawberry Shortcake crossover and something like that. But I don't know that because of the different shopping habits, women would get into like a comic book. Though women are big into video games. So I wonder about combining those properties into that video game. And then if that does super well, splitting out those and trying to go for a larger multimedia approach when it comes to them. But now I'm just talking crazy talk, I feel like. All right, I will come back to the chat, guys. Let's keep going. I don't want to sit on one thing too long, but I do appreciate these parts of the conversations. Oh my gosh, show up. All right, here we go. Now, has anybody heard of 2.5 dimensional seduction? Like, I have no idea what that means. I'm assuming that's an anime or something or a manga. The figures look cool. They're SHF, so chances are they'll do all the things you need them to do. But I don't know anything about them. And that's why I kind of fly through SHF. We can pretty much assume they're going to be cool. So if you're into this character or if you're into whatever the story was behind these, you're going to be good to go. Like, because look at all those face plates, look at all those hands, look at this giant cross. I don't know, like, really, I don't know, but she's got kind of a cross on her shirt as well. So I'm wondering if it's like maybe the opposite of Chainsaw Man. They're all devils. Maybe these are more angel style. I just have no idea. But I do know that they're going to be very cool figures. Whole lot of Joy Toy. We're going to skip that just because they're not 1/12th. But man, if I were into 1/18th, I'd probably go nuts on those. Okay, here's what's her name? Let's see. Miriella from that same deal. Now she's got wings. That's a little more angelic, I suppose. Oh, come on. Blow up. There we go. She's got the same, it looks like basically the same figure, just maybe different accessories. I'm not sure though. And she's got a cross also. I should probably read about this stuff so I come in a little more prepared, but there was a lot to cover this week. All right, Skew. Crank was awesome. Jason Statham, right? I believe Crank was Jason Statham, but it's been a while. Anton, only pure nerds would know those characters. You got to remember, Captain Caveman's good friends with with the Teen Angels. Teen Angels, Teen Angels. I don't remember the Teen Angels. Oh no. It's horrible. My current fig fantasy consists of SHF Lord of the Rings and Mezco 1/12 Blade Runner. Oh man. Imagine SHF Or like, I mean, I brought up multiple times. I wouldn't mind if Mofex just had all the licenses, but then they'd have to make a few more figures a month, and I'm not sure they're up to that. But SHF with Lord of the Rings would be awesome. Like they make enough stuff where I think they could probably go for it. Yepper, I liked how the story goes full speed from beginning to end. Yeah, SHF Lord of the Rings. I'm starting to think that'd be cool. I don't know about Mezco Blade Runner only because I don't have any Mezco figures. And they seem a little chunkier, like a little bigger than some. But maybe not. Maybe I'm just all over the place when it comes to figuring out what I'm trying to figure out. Jada making great Hanna-Barbera stuff can help set off the Epic Toys crossover. Toys have to be awesome to get them into it. Scooby too, yep. Yeah, but the toys are the end result. They're the thing that eventually you want the people to buy. It's why like Transformers 1 was made to sell Transformers 1 toys. So the toys can't be the entry point. The toys have to be what everything leads to. At least that's how they've treated them for the past couple decades. I don't know though. Maybe that's it. Maybe the approach needs to switch up. But I'm just not in that industry, so I don't know enough about it. Mr. Matson, what's going on, man? If it turns around now, we won't see the product for 2 to 3 years. Which product? Oh no. This is me trying to keep up with things. See, sorry guys, the girl's name was Elektra, not Starfire. Either way, there's going to be like a DC or a Marvel character angry about this whole thing. Although, if that character's name was Elektra, that means she was before Elektra Nachios, wasn't she? The combo of AI and quantum computing and, let's see, us around will allow for epic stuff if licensed and done right in the next 10 years. That could be. It could be. It's just got to be, we've got to find a way to get people into it. And that's the trick now. AI will democratize stuff, but it won't democratize the price of IPs. So that's where things get tricky. Out of all these anime figures you've seen in these past few weeks, which would you like to watch and what's stopping you besides finding the time? It really is just the time. For me, I've been really thinking, like, truly, I'm watching it and I'm going, what would be fun is One Piece. But that's well over 1,000 episodes. So yeah, that one I'm not sure. Chainsaw Man seems like it's kind of slower, like it's not crazy. Like most of the stuff that I've seen just comes from figures. So like My Hero Academia, for whatever reason, I'm not thinking that would be that much fun. Chainsaw Man looks crazy, like I said. One Piece looks cool. Oh man, what was the other one that I was thinking? Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer, just because I keep seeing the figure Tanjiro. I keep seeing that, and I'm like, I hear he's good. Maybe I should check that out, but I don't know. It is all the time. But One Piece, oddly enough, seems like the one I'd really want to check out because the dude's name is Monkey. Baki is fire. You do know there's a Transformers My Little Pony comic crossover, right? I did know that, John. I didn't think about that. But what did that do for My Little Pony or Transformers? Did it help out? I just don't know. Chainsaw Man, I will check out. Ooh. That figure is supposedly awesome. That might actually be what makes me like for us adults, it's all about the toy lines. When the toy line gets you interested, then you check out the anime. For the kids, I think it's opposite. Baki is really good. It knows what it is and maximizes the enjoyment by focusing on what fans like. I do like when people focus on what the fans like. Yes. Sci-Fi George. I hope they do SWAT Cat, Samurai Jack, Johnny Quest, and Frankenstein Jr. Samurai Jack would be rad. He's not Hanna-Barbera, though, is he? Like, if he is, sweet. Let's see. Yeah, I want to add to it to draw younger peeps to try to toy preservation interest. It's an awesome basis and start, Energon. It's too bad there's not like a cartoon or a game or something that leads into Energon, like leads into the comic. I don't know. 2.5D Dimensional Seduction is an anime about a group of girls that cosplay after anime characters. What? Really? It's just cosplay? Oh, no. I think that for an older franchise, having something catastrophic can really help attract new fans while not losing the original ones. Example, what if three-fourths of the G.I. Joe roster was killed? A fresh start. Ooh, I mean, that would drum up interest, but would it hold? That's one of the things that I keep hearing about comic books is so they'll start with a new number one, it feels like all the time. And the number ones sell like mad, but then it's diminishing returns in a big way after that. So I wonder if that would be the same effect with that. Like the numbers would jump for like a month or two. But then after that, I don't know. Remember, that was pretty much, what was it? The second G.I. Joe movie did that. Once he sees Baki and Chainsaw Man, I predict Dave will pick one or both up. Samurai Jack too. I've honestly I've considered picking up Chainsaw Man already. I just don't hear bad things about the figure. Skew, don't worry, Dave. If Jada starts making Hanna-Barbera and keeps it going, they'd get to all of that. We'll see. I would hope so, but who really knows? Ghost Dad, Skew Ray. Dave would have to see one episode of either one to enjoy the animation and fighting choreography. Oh man. It would be fun. I mean, I do want to get into some stuff. I was just talking today about how, man, it's been so long. Yep, facts. It's been so long since I played a video game. I want to try a video game, but again, time makes the new characters remember and reverse the original characters and still open up the future to fresh material. The Dark Knight Returns is something that first made me focus on that idea. It's not a terrible idea. I just wonder what the long term implications are. Harry, Dave just looks at Mezco's Indiana Jones figure to get a good idea about what a Blade Runner line would. You know what? I should do that. I mean, I've seen their Indiana Jones figure. It doesn't look much like Harrison Ford. So that's where I'm at with that. I'm not as into Transformers now as I once was. I'm just tired of the same characters doing the same things with the same results over and over and over and over. I'm with you, Star. That's why I'm not an all 80s all the time kind of guy. We've done the 80s to death. It's time to advance these franchises a little bit. Ghost Tab, One Piece is excellent, but takes a while to get good. Chainsaw Man is just fun action from the beginning. See, now that might be fun to like kind of whet the appetite for something like One Piece. Skew, hopefully Energon shakes all of that up. Ay de me. All right, we've been on this one for a bit. Demon Slayer takes about 5 episodes to get really good. I don't mind. If I know it gets really good, I don't mind being patient. That would be very refreshing. It's like Sprite. I don't know why I said that. All right, let's get at I can't believe these are just like characters that cosplay after other characters. And there's a line for that. I mean, I guess I can believe that, but wow. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Ooh. All right, now we've got some Ultraman SHF. In case you guys didn't know about this, I think maybe that's how I should approach SHF. Hey, in case you guys didn't know, here's SHF Ultraman stuff because you know it's going to have plenty of accessories. Clearly, it's kind of shiny. It's going to look good in front of your lights and under your good lord, under your lights in front of your lens. It's just going to have all the things. And then here's another Ultraman. Like I said, if you guys don't know, here they are. I love the poses that they get these things in. And I know nothing of Ultraman either. I started watching the Netflix series, the Netflix anime, and it looked like it was going to be good. I just didn't keep going with it. All right, that might be all the SHF. I I'm not going to spend any real time on the Star Wars figures here, but Shot T and Luminara, I do keep toying with the idea of picking up the Jedi from Black Series to make a really cool Jedi collection, and then going back and getting the SHF Mace and Yoda and Kenobi and Anakin. Now I've got Yoda already pre-ordered, but I just keep bouncing back and forth about what I really want to do when it comes to Star Wars. I wish Black Series had more articulation and more accessories. I'd go nuts because I love Star Wars. Sebulba, on the other hand, he's just fun. Now, Heavy Duty, I brought up last week. I'm crazy excited about Heavy Duty. He's all good to go. We won't spend tons of time because I know I talked about him already. You've got your extra head, you've got his eyepiece, you got what's going on with all this stuff, kind of headgear, it looks like. You got missiles, you got the little launchers, like the fire effect. You got a couple, let's see, are those knives? Yeah, you got a couple knives. He's apparently very stabby. Don't let him near your wallet. So yeah, and you know that I love the extra, like the fists and all that stuff. But I know that he has a really similar look to what he did way back when. I think he was a 1991 figure. But man, there's enough updates here. It's kind of like the retro Scarlet. If you leave all the stuff on her, she looks like an update to the old school Scarlet. He looks like an update to the old school Heavy Duty, even though he's very much the old school Heavy Duty. So I think he looks incredible. But I know somebody, I don't know, I think it was somebody in the chat brought up the possibility of a salvo because of these side pieces he's got going on, and that would be sweet too. Like holding those like that. But I think Salvo had even more in his stuff, didn't he? Like he had a few of them. Whew. Corey, Mezco is doing a Samurai Jack. Yep, yep. I did see that, and it does look good. Skew Raider, that Storm Arena Baki looks like a good candidate for Dave and Stabby. Samurai Jack is under Warner Brothers Cartoon Network. Mezco Samurai Jack looks fire. Warner Brothers, huh? And Warner Brothers does own Hanna-Barbera, so depending on the deal they get, that could be a thing. Battletech is a great example of how to do it. That narrative has been progressing through time and technology on a regular basis from its inception in the 80s. It has a unique feel all its own. Now, has Battletech, because I didn't get into that, has it been basically the same timeline all the way through? Because that's something that Star Trek has done. And I know that some people like a lot of the Star Trek shows and don't like a lot of the Star Trek shows, but a lot of it has just continued from the originals, correct? And if that's the case, then my thought is if they continually make good series, then people are going to see this series and be like, oh, they mentioned this character. So then they'll go back and check out that series and be able to get figures from that. Like it seems to me the best way to do this stuff isn't a bunch of multiverses, but just continually progressing the story, especially with characters like Transformers, because these things live millions of years. You got all kinds of time to run that. So yeah, I think progressing the story instead of constantly rebooting them is a good idea, but I don't know. I'm not in it that deep to know exactly. Well, if you like that, you should try Inuyasha, and would be really cool is Sailor Moon. I've seen, let's see, Sailor Moon when it was Sailor Moon on Toonami? Because I remember seeing a few episodes of that. I've never seen Inuyasha. Killing the original cast and starting with a new cast almost never works. Ask Optimus Prime. Ah, but see, Ghost Have, he was saying 3/4 of the original cast. So I guess it would depend on the quarter that was left. Like, you don't want to take out Flint, because then I'm out. But I'm kidding. I would still probably check it out because I do love me some G.I. Joe. Unless you kept Duke and killed Flint, then there'd be problems. Agree on Battletech. It's a really good IP and a fun game, but maybe avoid the cartoon. The toys were fun, though. This is me trying to get the wheels turning. Oh, well, you're definitely right about Transformers and My Little Pony. It's extremely funny and serious. The power of friendship and the power of the Matrix combined. Woo! That sounds hardcore. Friendship is magic, and the Matrix is basically all knowledge. So you're good to go. You got all your bases covered with those two. Keep them around, crank up the story like they're doing with Joe and Energon. Facts. Ba, 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 ba. Why? Captain America is stuck in my head. Absolute truth. So the cartoon was bad, huh? Ghost Tab, from the art and animation, Chainsaw Man is more your neck of the woods. One Piece has a great story, but the art takes a while to accept. All right, all right. See, I don't mind that look. And I don't mind any animation that's done well. But if Chainsaw Man is a quick get in there and see a bunch of action and get out, that's probably a good one to start with. That car from Blade Runner, Mezco, would it be cool? I'm a bad nerd and haven't seen Blade Runner. I can't tell you. This will lead to badness in the comments. Mr. Spencer. Apropos of nothing, I bought some blackberry candy corn on a whim tonight, and it's quite tasty. Blackberry candy corn. I know candy corn itself is the devil, but maybe blackberry candy corn wouldn't be so bad. Oh, John, I'm sure it was cheap too, because Halloween being over and all that, I might need to try and find some blackberry candy corn. That's true. I guess I'd want it to be handled in a very respectful way to the original characters. I don't think the Transformers ever really respected the ones that came before very well. Yeah, I don't know. I think they did some good stuff with Transformers. They just made things really abrupt. And I think that gets dicey. Like gradual change isn't so bad, but with the movie when they went in and just wiped everybody out, that one's going to leave a weird taste. Like I didn't like season 3 near as much as I liked 1 and 2, although if you're talking Transformers, the cartoon, right? The first season still holds up, bar none. It's a great season of television. Still, I swear, go back and watch the first season of Transformers. You'll be shocked how much it holds up. The second season, it gets a little goofier. It turns the Dinobots more into comic relief, and I liked them a little more in the first season. And then the third season, the animation overall wasn't great. And I didn't like that Hot Rod killed Optimus Prime. So there was all that. But anyway, now I'm digressing. Ultraman Rising movie on Netflix is good if you fell off of the show. Corey, thank you. I might check that out. And like I said, it wasn't that the show was bad. I just stopped watching for whatever reason. Probably time. Ghost Tab Star. It's easier to start with a new world and have a new story instead of killing the original cast, like Transformers Prime of Beast Wars or Beast Wars. Ooh. Ooh. I'd pick up Heavy Duty on discount. Not a fan of his weapon slash harness. It's not what I like about G.I. Joe. I get that, John. I get that. Are you more like the old school military kind of green shirt type stuff? Because that's how I was for a long time. I was more into like anything after 85, I just wasn't a fan of. But I've kind of gotten to the point where I'm like, okay, a little bit of crazy silliness, I'm okay with. That's why I'm kind of okay with that Nemesis Enforcer. Heavy Duty with the armor reminds me of how people used to wear carton boxes as a disguise during Halloween. Now I'm thinking Heavy Duty needs a desert camo version. That would be quality. Just a like it's brown, like a tan, like maybe swap out the color of his pants and his shirt to give him like a tan color box looking deal. I don't know. Ghost Tab, yeah, I was just thinking of moving the characters into a sense of time. New characters remember and learn from the older ones, like passing the torch and bringing a sense of legacy. Yeah, see, I don't mind once in a while a character just not being a part of something anymore. Like, they were great characters and now they're gone. Whatever, that's fine. Pew, pew, bang, bang. Spaded one, McDysentery. Thank you for showing up, sir. I appreciate it. But yeah, I don't mind losing a character or two along the way. But yeah, when you wipe everybody out at once, it gets a little rough. It's almost like a different franchise at that point. Battletech has been one timeline. It's progressed about 125 plus years. See, John, that would be awesome if they did that with something like Transformers. Obviously, you don't want to do that with something like G.I. Joe, but Transformers, that would be sweet. Like then you can't get annoyed with humans because they wouldn't be around very long, or individual humans. You'd still be annoyed with humans, but after like a couple of years, that human's gone. Next. Let's see, though the backstory starts a bit in the past, about 300 years or so. That's really cool. Like I love that they keep it going. Ghost have Inuyasha is okay, but basically Monster of the Week, and the main story is almost non-relevant until the last 10 episodes. So maybe get kind of introduced to the characters in the beginning, then skip a whole lot of middle, and then go to the last 10 episodes. All right, let's get out of Heavy Duty because in front of Heavy Duty here was our boy Pete. Now I know we've given this a little bit of time. I mean, we've talked a little bit about Pete and Slimer and Sam Hain, and don't worry, we'll go to the MONDO'S side as well. Now, I mean, I think it looks good. If you didn't see the last live stream when we talked about this a little bit, oh, excuse me. I think it looks incredible. And if you're a real Ghostbusters fan and you're a fan of the 112 scale, I highly doubt it will ever get any better than this. So if you love this, I know the price is a lot, but I don't know how deep they're going to go. Maybe give it a shot. Like I don't want to push you into doing something you're on the fence about because you're not sure if you love real Ghostbusters enough. Like me, I don't love it enough to jump in on the line. I like Ghostbusters plenty, but not like I was never the real Ghostbusters fan, right? But if you're a hardcore real Ghostbusters fan, I think you should jump in on this because I don't think it's going to get any better. Like Mondo does killer work and they know how to treat their customers. So I don't know. Like I don't want to feel like I'm pushing anybody to spending $101 on this set and 202 on the Sam Hain set. I'm just saying, if you love real Ghostbusters, and that's bar none your favorite iteration of Ghostbusters, which is probably your favorite franchise ever, I think I would jump in on this. And I mean, heck, if they just sold the Slimer separately, I'd probably get that at least. I mean, I can't deny how good it looks. It doesn't have great articulation, it doesn't look like, but how much articulation do the real Ghostbusters really need? Sometimes even I think about that. But I love Slimer. Especially like if you're a Ghostbusters fan, you've got to now consider Pete Venkman and you've got to consider the HasLab. That's insanity. But again, I don't think this looks bad. And I think if you're a real Ghostbusters fan, like hardcore, you almost don't have a choice. I wish the Black Series scaled with Hasbro's other line so I could do Darth Vader versus Doctor Doom. Excelsior! You can fudge it with cameras. You can fudge it with some photogenic trickery, photographic trickery. But yeah, they do scale more with SHF than they do Hasbro's other stuff. Best Battletech cartoon is Exo Squad. I've heard of Exo Squad. Woohoo! I feel good about myself right now. Skew star. Let's see. I.e., Destro and Baroness's son takes over Cobra eventually and fights Billy, son of Cobra Commander, in a few years. Joe's and Cobra descendants keep up the fight after a few years of 80s Joe. 80s 90s Joe. See, I don't hate that idea, Skew Raider, as long as it just keeps progressing the story. They don't even need to be related. Like, you can have some figures come in and be related. Like, I would love it if Marissa Fairborn came in and was a permanent part of the G.I. Joe universe. Like Flint and Lady J's kid. Boom, there she is. And now it keeps moving on, but then you bring in new characters. I'd be totally down for that. And I think G.I. Joe, as far as figures are concerned, were on their way to doing that until they started making different versions of characters. So, like in '85, when the new Snake Eyes came out, and in '86, when the new Roadblock came out, had they just kept making new characters, I think they might have kept progressing the story. But that gets tricky in animation and comics because you don't want to just. I guess one of the things that Larry Hama probably had problems with is so many characters would get introduced. He didn't have time to really delve into how cool each individual character was. So anyway, I'm all over the place on that. But yes, I do agree. I think that's a great concept for Joe. I would prefer that they kept things going instead of constantly restarting. But that might be me overall. I mean, businesses do it the other way so often that maybe it doesn't work as well for them. If we're fortunate, let's see, Gold School, Ghost in the Shell, SAC is the way to go. I do keep wondering if I should order the major. People have said, Dave, you got to order the major. Skew, Cops and Crooks is already connected and bringing Spike and Carly's son. Go wild, old snake lurks in trench coat, but battles Raphael and the Thing on who has the best trench coats. I do enjoy Old Snake. Old Snake and Marissa Fairborn were kind of the G.I. Joe leftovers, right? And I know Flint showed up too in one of them, or at least it was supposedly Flint. I just like the idea of nothing lasts forever, including characters. I think that if they're made to pass on, then at least for me, I will appreciate them and what they accomplished that much more. C Star, I am down with that. I am good with that. But it feels like it needs to be gradual instead of like a sudden shift into, say, for instance, the new line. And with Transformers, because they live for so long, you can keep the same characters around forever, just keep adding new characters. Skew, where you were going with the Descendants of Cobra? I like it. Yeah, I'm a fan of those kinds of ideas. Star, great idea. I just want Joe a chance to start it off with the characters we know. Good arcs, not just killing them off. Yep, yep. Yeah, it doesn't like it almost like legit. They killed off all the Transformers in G1 in the movie because they needed new toys. So you gotta be more delicate about that if you're gonna progress an actual story. You can't do it because of the toys. You know what I mean? Don't think that you're a bad nerd. I did meet one girl who had never seen the original Star Wars, and me and another nerd said to her, "And you've never seen the original Star Wars?" Yeah, okay, okay. I do have her beat. But she probably knows a lot of nerd stuff that I don't know too. That way, when they go away, it hits harder and time travel to revisit in the future when needed. See, yeah, I don't think that's a bad idea, Skew. I love stories that just keep going. Man, Classified just keeps getting more appealing. The recent stuff has all looked great. Just need them to make Extra Hands standard issue. That's my thing with Classified. If they made Extra Hands a standard, I I want it to happen, but also my wallet doesn't want it to happen. And Marvel Legends, if they started making a ball peg waist instead of a waist twist standard, oh, I would be stoked. I would be much happier to fill in some teams if Marvel Legends did that. And Star Wars Black Series, there's too much they'd have to fix for me to get in. But I love Star Wars. I want them to fix it. Yes, the last season of Transformers has tons of problems. The headmasters and all these other goofiness in the animation, oh man, that is just bad. Yeah, it's rough. Like some season 2 episodes were fantastic of Transformers. Like Arise, Atlantis Arise, or at least parts of them. The animation was insanely good. And then it really stood out when it wasn't, you know? Agreed. They can't just be erased. Their passing needs to be something worthy of memory and respect. Have them mean something to newer characters. Have the new ones value their memories. Yeah, like you're always looking back on the memory of Flint, for instance, and just be like, man, what would Warrant Officer Fairborn have done? I enjoyed the real Ghostbusters, but that price is a barrier. I'd pay for it, or I'd pay it for any of my favorite characters, for my absolute favorite IP. See, and that's where I'm at, John. That's where I'm at. I'm like, I thought Real Ghostbusters was cool, but I'm not enough of a Real Ghostbusters guy to say I need to jump in on this. They need to stay with a studio and keep the quality right on whatever Energon. No goofy quality drops ever again. Big facts. It would be nice if just a studio grew with the fiction, you know? Long live Lorenzo Music. He was the voice of Garfield and Peter. Lorenzo Music. Was his last name Music? I remembered that Venkman and Garfield had the same voice. That's pretty cool. All right, Star. Great idea, though, to keep things interesting. If they use time travel to save the day, you can cross the future folks up. Just have them show up to introduce them, or to introduce, have them randomly. Yes, Dave said, no is. Uh oh. Uh oh. All right, now we're getting crazy. I already pre ordered Venkman. Nicely done, Mr. Benson. My plan is to put each of the real Ghostbusters next to their movie counterparts in the Plasma series once I get all of them. That'll be a cool display. Like, that'll be sweet. And the monsters, like the ghosts, are so unique. You could almost use them with the regular real ghosts or the regular Ghostbusters too. Like Slimer could hang out with them. Thanks to Mad Hatter, sadness, they made Mondo shipping free. Awesome for real. You know what? I forgot. I think I brought that up in the live stream, but yes, we're going to go to Mondo actually right now. I'm going to go there. They made the shipping for the Mondo Pete Venkman and the Sam Hain, they made it free, which is amazing. Like, that's what I'm saying, guys. Mondo knows how to take care of their customers. And that's one thing where you got to appreciate it. Like, I appreciate that to the same level that I appreciate what Jada's doing with figures. It's just that I'm not that big a real Ghostbusters fan. And we're going to go to Mondo right now. That's why I shut down that screen. Okay. So, yes, here we go. I want to start with, let's go here. Here we go. All right. It is very cool. And the way they lit these up, I mean, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't at least a little tempted. It's just that there's so many more collecting priorities. On the other hand, I sit back and I'm like, just like I was telling you guys, these are never going to be made better than this. So even though I'm not the huge real Ghostbusters guy, once in a while I'm weak. So I don't know. We'll see. Probably not. I would say I'm better than I'm probably in the 90% not, but there's enough of me sitting there saying this is really cool. I mean, that's perfect. The accessories are perfect. I would rather get really good versions of the Ghostbusters from the movie, though, which would mean I'd need the Ectomobile. And yeah, I don't want to spend that either, especially in one go. One of the things that I think hurts the HasLab is they don't do payment plans. But then if they did payment plans, they'd have to delay the release even longer because they'd have to wait till they got all their money so they could do the tooling. Actually, though, the tooling's probably done considering they have a prototype, huh? Yeah, I love the photos that they did with these too. This is when I need to just stop looking at this stuff because I feel like I'm talking myself into needing it. And that's bad juju. Mr. Stabby does not appreciate that. Man, they did do some great shots though. The lighting, the I'm gonna assume atmosphere aerosol in the background. I'm gonna leave it there. I love that picture. All right, let's get to chatting here. Mr. Metzen, Beachhead's descendant was in Cops and Crooks. That's right. I forgot about that. Oh, which character? Oh man, you guys even I think you might have brought it up before, Mr. Matson, and I can't remember the character's name. See, I don't care. Just make Marissa Fairborn a general or something. Kidding. Make her awesome. Star Wars killed the old generations, and you can find all the new cast toy line at your local Ollie's. Okay, that's fair, Ghost Stab. That is fair. But Star Wars also didn't do it right. You know, like there should be a progression that is a lot more natural than what we got from the sequel trilogy, to be very honest. I mean, it's fair. It's a fair critique, but I think we can all agree that they just did it wrong. All you need for a franchise to succeed is to have a good story. One Piece has 1100 plus episodes and it only gets better. See, I wish that were true. Some franchises have great stories, but because the marketing never gets them noticed, it doesn't make it happen for them, you know? Like everybody loved Firefly from what I understand. Now I didn't watch Firefly, but every time I want to poke at a sci-fi person, I'll be like, "Man, if only Firefly were good enough to get a second season." Right? You know, and just be like, I mean, it wasn't good enough, guys. Like maybe just kind of poking the bear a little bit. But Firefly itself, from everyone I've heard ever talk about Firefly, it was a phenomenal show, and it didn't get renewed because it didn't get enough eyeballs on it. So I wish I could agree with you. I do think that word of mouth is huge, but it needs to have the time to let that word of mouth come in. And I don't know that a lot of companies are willing to give it the time. I like mixing in new peeps, Shooter and Wolf Spider, etc. I love that too, Skew Raider. I think that's very cool that they're doing that. I love when they did that with Pursuit of Cobra, with like, oh man, the guy that they're even releasing for Classified. Oh, why can't I think of him? He's the guy with the dreads that's so freaky looking. Anyway, you guys will figure that out. See, new ones. Oh, got it. Ran out of space. My bad, Dave. No worries, Q. I got you now. I was like, wait, what was that? I can't figure that one out. Ghost Tab, the next generation usually fails because they are building on pre existing material. Star Trek succeeds because even as a continuation, it's a standalone story that sometimes crosses with older material. See, I'm good with that, but like it builds, like building on older stuff, game on. Like, I wouldn't mind a continuing story building on pre existing stuff. Like, okay, so for instance, the Transformers, if because that one just makes sense to me to just keep it going for forever because of how long the robots can live. But like make the Matrix always a part of it, make Sparks always a part of it. So there's always that lore, like that's the through line. And then you've got this great leader that died in whatever year they decide. Like if Optimus Prime ever were to truly bite it, then you've got this great reverence for Optimus Prime going forward, you know, that kind of thing. But you still have the spark, you still have the Matrix, you still have this stuff going through. I just think, yeah, like you could jump. So you could do, instead of making it, oh, this character died yesterday and we're starting with today, instead of that, you could do kind of what I think you might be talking about. And this generation ended here. Now we're going to go 50 years in the future and see what's going on with that group now, or 100 years in the future and all that. Because I know Star Trek jumped quite a bit. So maybe that's it. I don't know. I don't know. There are specific lore aspects that should always be kept, like the Force. George Lucas said the Force balance wasn't about good and bad. It wasn't about light and dark. Balance was light. And other people have misconstrued that and made it so balance is about 50% dark and 50% light. When Lucas said, no, no, people don't understand the Force. It is 100% light. That's where the balance is at, you know? How many directions can the Ghostbusters story go? Maybe with the Ghostbusters success, there are rival ghostbusting companies wanting to cash in on the strange new market that seems to be open. That would be an interesting story, but you'd still need the Ghostbusters to win, you know? But you're right. How many directions could it go? I mean, ghostbusting, busting makes me feel good. That's really it. After the Real Ghostbusters ended, they did a series in the 90s. It was called Extreme Ghostbusters. They should do a figure line of them. No, Anton. No, I'm kidding. It's not that bad. But I remember seeing that and going, oh, I don't know about this. And was that after was Extreme Ghostbusters? What was the one? There was just one that it wasn't Venkman and Zedmore and Egon and Ray. It wasn't them at all. It was somebody, it was just a totally different crew. Was that Extreme? It's a good idea. Bustin' make me feel good. Uh-oh. Disney Star Wars didn't do it right. Lucas wasn't perfect, but still leagues better. I do agree, Sci-Fi George. I do agree. There were things that I think Disney Star Wars did very well, but they didn't continue the story of Luke and Han and Leia well. Boom shakalaka. Because the laka goes boom. Skew Star, yes. Rival companies with SNL alumni as the. Oh, see, okay, Skew. Bill Hader and Taron Killen. Let's see, Sudeikis, Jay Farrow, even ridiculous others. Eddie Murphy, Tracy Morgan. Okay, okay, Skew. Doing a Ghostbusters SNL tie-in. Oh man, I like that idea. Like the rival ones, like the knockoff Ghostbusters could have all those other. Oh, I do like that. Licensing would be a pain, but I do like that idea. It's a big time. But you know me, I like anything SNL from way back. I haven't seen SNL in a while, actually. I want to check. I like to check it out once in a while to see if it's funny again or if I think it's funny again. I know the fact that it's still on means some people must still like it. Let's see. I think it was a long arm. Long arm. Was that the cops and crooks guy? Must push the button. What sucks is being a Ghostbusters fan and Hasbro. Let's see, Monday put out or Hasbro and Mondo put out competing products at the same time. That's true. So basically, you can get the HasLab, and you've got to do. I think you can do a pay in for Venkman when it comes to. I think you can do pay in for on different websites when it comes to getting Venkman and Slimer, and I think you can do the pay in for on Mondo when it comes to adding Sam Hain to it. So yeah, it sucks because you're going to spend $325 or $400 for the Ectomobile, but maybe it's not that bad because you can spread out the payments for the Venkman stuff. I don't know. Ba, 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 ba. Never thought. Yep. See, that's what I'm saying. I think Skew. I like that idea a lot, man. Transformers does different universes approach. Cast is either reused or different cast, but all standalone stories. Lio Convoy follows his own story, but universe still has Optimus. I know. And that to me is a problem. Like, I've loved a lot of different Transformers cartoons with their own continuities. Like, I think it's good. I think a lot of the shows have been great, but I wish they'd stick with the same continuity. And I mean, figures could get upgrades. You know, Prime could look totally different in 100 years than he does today. I don't know. I don't know. I wish it were one continuity instead of. I mean, I know that they didn't start it out rebooting all the time to make it a multiverse approach. On the other hand, I get why they reboot because you're trying to hit kids at a specific age range. So that's why a line might last 3 or 4 years. Is okay, we got them here. Now we grow up a little bit with them, but now we need new kids again. And that's something I don't know. I don't know. I wish I knew the perfect solution because we can sit here and try and figure it out and talk it out, but without testing, we just have no idea, you know? Get Steve Martin and Martin Short to go nuts. Each movie introduce a new company show or movies would work. They each get a theme song. Let's see, Jordan Peele would sing it. Original Ghostbusters win, of course. Oh my goodness. Guys, seriously, I don't feel tired at all. I don't know what's going on. Star, I still wonder how the film would have turned out had John Belushi lived. The character of Peter was written for John. That's true. I did know that. I mean, Bill Murray did a great job. So I take nothing away from him, but Belushi was, that dude was genius. So much for my wallet. Mr. Stabby is an angry wallet, Mr. Valdez. Let's see, so much potential. Sci-Fi George, Eddie Murphy and John Belushi were originally going to be part of the Ghostbusters, but Belushi died, and I think Eddie was doing Beverly Hills Cop. I think, yeah, they came out around the same time. I didn't know Eddie Murphy was supposed to be part of it. That would have been insane. Yes, it was a totally different group and led by Egon. Okay, Anton, thank you. Maybe I'm not remembering the Extreme Ghostbusters. They'd be a comic relief and a reason to laugh, but sometimes they'd have to help each other every now and then. The companies, man, imagine like the different suits. Like each company has a different color. Like lime green is somebody. Let's see. G1 started as one continuity, Headmaster's Own Force. Yeah, I know, and that was cool. I like that. I was a big fan of such things. All right, we'll come back to you in a sec here, Anton. So that's what we got with Mondo here, gang. And like I say, if you're a real Ghostbusters fan, this might be the way to go. I mean, let's see here. Let me go back here. Find out when, let's see, timed edition. So available from blah, 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 basically now, 12 p.m. Central Time through the 26th of this month at 11:59 a.m. Central Time. So you've still got a while to decide, gang. I am tempted, but I know that if I get this, that automatically goes from $202 to $808 because I'll need the rest of them. So oh man, yeah, it gets tricky. It gets tricky. It gets tough. It's all kinds of sadness, really. Okay, so I'm going to get out of here and I'm now going to go. I want to check because I know we've talked about Nemesis Enforcer quite a bit. I want to see, I do want to stay on top of it and find out that if, I'm sorry, Nemesis Immortal, and find out that if he's back up online, I want to make sure I'm able to let you guys know. So let me see here. Sort by. And remember, almost everything that Hasbro Pulse has ever done as an exclusive on G.I. Joe, they've had more of them. Like they've been out again. Okay, sold out still. But like Dr. Mindbender was re-released a couple times on Hasbro Pulse. Serpentor was re-released 2 or 3 times on Hasbro Pulse. So I would keep this bookmarked. I know I've got in the video description. Go there if you want. You can just bookmark the page. Don't worry, I don't get anything from that. But Nemesis Immortal is, I mean, I don't know. I know some of you guys aren't so sure about him. I think he's kind of rad. And we all know that they keep coming back in stock with the other stuff. So I'm hoping they do that with Nemesis Immortal. Would be really interesting if the Ghostbusters had competition from Pac, the guy that basically wanted to run them out of business. So he runs his own group of Ghostbusters, officially licensed. Pac, right? Yeah, that would be kind of funny. I'd be okay with that. Or he's got to commission all new villains to take out the Ghost. No, he's the leader of ghosts. Like he actually somehow hires some ghosts to take out the Ghostbusters. That would be more his style. Let's see, the guy in City Hall. Yep, yep. Because he was a jerk face, man. In order to have multiple ghost-busting companies, they battle in petty ways throughout the film for comedy's sake. By the end, they'd have to be faced with an overwhelming enemy and have to team up. My gosh, the Ghostbusters verse. Who would be the overwhelming enemy of just a bunch of ghost-busting companies? Don't worry. Comedy's sake. I did get that one. The one I was lost on. My nemesis arrived today in a giant soaking wet box. Okay, that sucks. But was the figure okay, Mr. Matson? I honestly didn't think he'd do that well. I mean, I knew he'd do well, but I didn't think he'd sell out as fast as he did. So I'm kind of impressed by that. Maybe ghost busting franchises to each team is independently owned and operated. Man, now we're just writing a whole new Ghostbusters movie. And we're leaving the new generation, it seems, out of it. Let's see, same truck as Kyle. Oh man, that sucks. Hope Nemi is all right. Was that Kyle Peterson? Did he get a wet box too? Sci-Fi George Peck, aka Nicholas. Yep, yep. It's true. This man has no. Well, I try to be PG, but sometimes some of this stuff is too much fun. See, haven't gotten to open it yet. Okay, all right. These are the things we need to know. All right, guys, we have gone over 2 hours. Is there anything in this live stream besides rewriting all kinds of stuff for Hanna-Barbera and Ghostbusters? Anything that I missed that you can think of? And I will go till, unless you come up with some stuff that I missed, we'll go till about 9:10. So we got what? Looks like 7 minutes. Thank you, Skew. I appreciate that. But hey, it's not awesome until a bunch of you guys show up. So I definitely appreciate everybody stopping by, as always. It's a blast, guys. Like, talking just quality nerd stuff is just fun. And looking at these figures that are going to look phenomenal when you guys start taking pictures of them, that also is a whole lot of fun. So thank you for taking the time out of your day to do that with me. But if nobody has, let's see, what do you got, Star? What do you got? See, any word out there concerning the 52 Toys Alien? I haven't seen anything. Has anyone else? Because that thing, I am curious about it. Because right now, I mean, you guys know, I've said it 2 or 3 times. I loves me my Mofex, but when I look up the Mofex Alien reviews, it's like some of them just weren't made with very good quality, and some of them seem to be okay quality wise. So I'd probably be more interested, honestly, as much as I love the Mofex and as much as I want to go back and eventually get all of them. I'd probably be more interested in trying out a 52 Toys Alien just because at this point, if quality is really bad, then I don't think they'd even try to make it. And a lot of what they make looks like it's incredibly cool. So I'd be curious about that as well, if anybody knows. See, I know someone said get rid of the knee pads on figures, but I think that's disrespectful to all the women figures. What? Sci-Fi George? No, that's a bad George. That's just trying to get me so I'm not being very PG at all. I write screenplays. There's so much imagination in this group. We need to be writing this stuff down. Maybe have it lead to original material. That would be fun. I mean, it would be a blast. Ooh, you guys do have some killer ideas. So it would be a lot of fun. We could do we could start with some. I mean, it sounds like you guys practically have Ghostbusters fan fiction ready to go just from this live stream. We could start with something like that, and then if people really start to dig it, then jump into getting some stuff that's all just brand new IP type stuff. Grow something crazy from here. That would be insane, and a direction I never saw Toypixx even attempting to go. But we can leave Toypixx out of that. This would be your guys' creation, and we just have a blast doing it. Oh, Nemesis Enforcer. So pretty. Yes, that would be Pack or Peck. Yes, somehow he's part of the all. Let's see, part of all the power of all the evil ghosts and becomes all powerful. There it is. All right, guys, we know that this guy Peck, he would be the guy that all the corporations of ghost busting crews would get together to finally defeat because he'd become this all powerful ghost. There you got it, Anton. I think we've got something now. Bustin' clearly makes us feel good. Dave, you just started a writing group. Did you know that's what you were doing when you started tonight? I had no idea, Star, but I'm good with it. I love it when people get to use their imagination and just start going nuts. That's half the fun of these chats, guys. He is a great villain. And he's a totally believable villain, too. Like, he's not way out there or anything. Sci-fi. Let's see. In Ghostbusters Afterlife, Winston wanted to make the Ghost Corps that would incorporate all the different iterations of Ghostbusters crews. Which ones was Afterlife? Was that the first sequel, the one with the tiny Stay Puft Marshmallow guys, or was that the most recent one? Because I haven't seen the most recent one. But Afterlife, obviously, I'm not remembering it that well. I remember that Egon's ghost was in there along with like the other guys that showed up. Like, don't get me wrong, I do enjoy Ghostbusters, but I enjoy the original stuff a lot more than I've enjoyed the newer stuff. Ba, 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 ba. I honestly had no idea it was as late as it is. Woo! I like it. Ah, and now I'm trying to hide chats. That's not cool. Afterlife was first. Got it, Skew. Thank you. So I saw it. I just, it's like Rise of the Beasts. I just don't remember it that well. It must not have stuck in the old noggin. Frozen Empire second. Okay, okay. I remember when I said that about Afterlife, I was like, wait, I think the more recent trailers had all this cold stuff. And Frozen Empire was sitting somewhere in the back of my head, but way in the back. Whew. You guys can only cover for my bad nerdiness for so long before it's just like, oh man, this guy, hopeless. Ah, H20. Star, I could never understand how the people of New York turned their backs on the Busters in part two after what happened in the first film. Man, people's memories are fickle, my friend. We know this. But yeah, you'd think that would be enough of a huge save where they'd be like, you know what? Even if we're not sure about these guys, we're going to need to let them give them a little more leeway than we do most things. But all right, all right, all right. There's There's a little bit of McConaughey for you, even though it was a terrible, terrible impression. What do we have from my boy Skew? Relegated to birthday parties. That's right. I forgot about that. I remember one the most. I didn't think two was as bad as everybody else did, though. I thought it was kind of funny. Bustin' makes me feel good. All right, guys, it is 9:10, so that's it. I gotta call this, so even I can crash, even though I'm not that tired. Very strange. But until next time, have fun, happy snapping, and thanks as always for coming in and checking out the stream. It is massively appreciated, and it's a massively good time whenever we're able to do it. So until next time, have fun, happy snapping. See ya. And now here's the weird part where I hit end stream and wave because I don't know if the